Hello, I am Professor Henry, and welcome to another Professor Henry's History Corner. Today, we are going to review the multiple totalitarian forces in the decades before the war. I'm not going to get too much into the war. I'm going to leave that to my assistants, who I assume are hopefully in the room where you're watching this. Assistants, only you can see this part of the video. If you mess this one up, that's the last corner that you'll need on. Yikes. Let's start cycling through the earliest fascist leader, and that's your boy Mussolini from Italy. So he rose up in 1922. He was known as Il Duce. Well, on a more general note, why we see all this totalitarianism suddenly sprout up is because it's not only from it being after World War I, where a lot of nations who have lost the war are in poverty. You also have the Great Depression going on, which wasn't just an American thing. It became a problem on a global scale, international scale. Our second totalitarian leader is Adolf Hitler from Germany. He took power in 1933, which was... Wow. He comes in 1933 in Germany. He becomes chancellor, and he abuses this power by the very same year pulling out of the League of Nations. And Germany they were hit the hardest in the First World War, and the Treaty of Versailles is basically out to get them. And the Depression didn't help either, right? So you have, I mean, we have all seen the pictures of the families with the boatloads of money in exchange for a loaf of bread. What is this, Panera? But yeah, what he goes on to do is, because the Treaty of Versailles restricted Germany so much, he'll start to try and see what he can get away with and kind of break those rules of the Treaty of Versailles in the hopes to restore Germany, because they were so specifically targeted by the Treaty of Versailles, being asked to demilitarize. So Hitler will not listen to that, and he'll start to expand his borders, and that'll become a much bigger deal the more he does that, which I'm hoping my assistants can help me out. Assistants, only you can see this part of the video. You gotta tell them about every single thing Hitler does before the war. You better do it right, okay? My grade's on the line here. Think I have a good grade? Look at me, dude. I'm in a dog chair. I have nothing left. I have nothing left to lose. Do your job or you're fired. Okay. Beep, beep. Yeah. Our third, number three. Let's just make it a top 10 list. Our third guy, you know what it's gonna be already, guys. It's Stalin. He's not back. He's not back. Don't say that. He's here. He's not here either. He is the leader. He was the leader of the Communist Party in Russia, and when his power starts to get out of hand is when he starts doing his purges in 1936, as well as just sending people to the gulags. Yeah, work camps. Because at that point, Stalin was he was abusing his power, and he's abusing his power, dude. I don't need to explain myself to you. Fourth one, Japan invading China in 1937. Not good. For now, like in the late 30s, you don't really have a face to Japanese totalitarianism. You do once we get Hideki Tojo. I want to say shout out to Hideki Tojo. I shouldn't say that though. He's bad. When Japan invades China, that's a threat to the open door policy, and that has definitely some threats to the US. Assistants, only you can see this part of the video. You guys need to explain anything I'm not explaining, otherwise we'll get like a 1, dude. Jack will give us a 1, and dude, I can't live with that. My reputation will be ruined. Every day, every year at the university dinners, they're always like, oh, what did Jack give you on the presentation? If I look them in the eye and say he gave me a 1, dude, I'm gone. I don't care if I have tenure, they'll like assassinate me, okay? So do your job, man. I'm just gonna stay in this chair when this part of the video ends and say more lies. Okay, our 5th guy, and this guy basically doesn't even count because he's so tiny, like both physically and in terms of the scope of history. He's like a Smurf. But Francisco Franco, he basically in 1936 through 1939, Spain is going through a bit of a civil war, bit of a rocky road. We can relate. We've all been through a couple civil wars in our time. Shout out to America, you know, Robert E. Lee, Papa Plus. There are 2 sides to this civil war. You got the loyalist regime. Is that an L to you guys? I don't know. And you also have the Francisco Franco's regime that's fascist, and they're clashing, dude. It's not a good time. But you got your boy Mussolini. No one's boy is Mussolini. You have Mussolini and Hitler supporting Franco, and you have the Soviet Union kind of supporting the loyalists, but then the Abraham Lincoln Brigade, that's like 3,000 Americans, they help out the loyalists. Ultimately, though, they fail, and in fact FDR has creates an embargo, an arms embargo, that will make sure to not sell arms to either side. So in this way, it's like he's fence sitting and literally watching fascism take over in Europe. So, I mean, if that's not a strike 1 for America, I don't know what is. But yeah, basically Franco wins, and yeah, he wins. Oh my God, did Franco win the Golden Globe for Best Actor in a Comedy? Yeah, no, but Franco installs his fascist regime. If we want to look at big picture here, basically what FDR sitting on the fence while Francisco just becomes a dictator, what that shows literally like the whole world is that America's in this kind of peace at any price state, which kind of enables these dictators and empowers them. And you can kind of see that it's a lot of these dictators testing how far they can push the limits that these nations that want peace, the limits that they put up. Okay, that was a quick little overview of totalitarians. I was more just doing this kind of like introduction to these guys, and my wonderful assistants will help me out with that later because I'm trapped in this box. I can't get out. I haven't seen my family in 9 years.
You're gonna be great.
So that's basically it, guys. Make sure to email me My email is hbond19@mylcusd.net. Email me if you have any questions. Enjoy the rest of the lesson. Probably won't be as well edited as this, considering it's live. So cool. See you then, man. Or woman, whatever.